Hello, this video is about Robert M Place's decks, his books. This one's amazing. His books, his artwork, everything Robert Place. So let's get into it. I'm looking at myself, alright. Let's get into it. And I'm not really sure how to start filming this or where to start. I haven't wrote a script, so I'm completely winging it. What I want to talk about is Robert Place's tarot decks. This is going to be the initial video that I release. I am going to write one with a script because I'm reading his books at the moment, and there is a lot to go into that is not possible in a off the cuff type of video. Before I get into the tarot, I want to talk about he has other things that aren't tarot. Sorry, that didn't come out right. He has other productions that aren't tarot but are also cards. He has playing cards. He has Lenormand. This is the only Lenormand that I have. It's the ukiyo-e style Lenormand. I don't read Lenormand cards. I bought this because I saw it online for incredibly cheap, and it was Robert Place, and I'm starting to collect his things, so I thought, well, why not? I might as well get it. And it's okay. Like, the artwork's really nice. It's a French deck, so that the book's in French. It is gilded, like all of his newer decks. Yeah, I don't really know much about Lenormand, to be honest. I know that it's an oracle. It's an oracle system. Yeah, I bought it because it was Robert Place, basically, and I think I probably will sell that one. It's actually on my eBay page at the minute. The first one that I bought was the Alchemical Tarot Renewed 6th edition with blue sky, and they all come in these beautiful the telescopic boxes. It's gilded again. This one's in silver. It comes with a nice little booklet, which is very short. It's actually quite bad for interpreting the cards. Like, the descriptions don't actually describe the majors, don't tell you the meanings of the cards, it just describes them, which always pisses me off. Like, I can see what it is, you don't have to describe it with words. So you have to keep going back and forth to other books and stuff to, get a good understanding. I'm not going to show you all of these because you've seen them. Most of the people online. Can I make that focus any better? No. If I messed that up, I'm sorry. This is one of my favourite cards. I love the multicoloured wings on Gabriel. Is that Gabriel? I think that's Gabriel. Not that it says it in here. It doesn't say anything about him in here. You have to buy these huge booklets. And this one is extremely heavy. It has, as you can see at the bottom, a Waite Smith guide, Alchemical Tarot guide, and a Sevenfold Mystery guide, which is good. It's, you can see at the bottom there, Waite Smith, Alchemical, and Sevenfold Mystery, but in the majors it shows you Masse as well, so you get a full interpretation of what that card actually means in context to the other ones that came before it, and that's really good because some of his cards have original meanings that aren't on others, and I don't like that. So what I do is I use RWS RWS meanings, and they can be interchanged. A lot of them can be interchanged, This one's kind of strange because it's still got the swords hanging over its head, but he's fighting back against it, which is different than the Rider-Waite symbolism and meaning. Yeah, that's the alchemical tarot. The backs are absolutely, I love this. It's the Anima Mundi, Soul of the World, I think. Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. When I bought this, the only other tarot decks I really had before this one were things like this, you know. I do have a couple of expensive decks, but when I got this, and anybody else who has these decks can attest to this, that the quality is unlike anything I've ever had before this. It is absolutely stunning, and the resolution of the prints is just, I've never seen it before on a card, never. They look like a 4K computer art rendering. It's beautiful. I don't think he does them on a computer. What I think he does is he draws them by pen and ink. I've heard him say that he draws them by pen and ink, and then I think he vectorizes them on a computer, and that's how he got all the really smooth lines. And because there's no way that his line work can be that perfect. I mean, it possibly is, but come on. It's gorgeous. It's amazing. My hair's all over the place. Wow. This one, the Occult Tarot. It comes with it doesn't come with a book, actually. You have to buy this separate if you're in the UK. If you are buying from his website, there is an option to buy the deck without the book. But the first option to buy the deck is a deck and book set. So you have to scroll down a little bit farther if you only want the deck. Although I don't know why you would only want the deck and not the book, which speaks about the what's his name? Louis Raphael Lucrece de Foyal Comène de Malais. He is a count from the French court in the 1700s, and it just goes into all of the you know, why he created this deck and the meanings behind the cards. There's a channel called Tarot Oculus on YouTube who has just uploaded a video of a deeper look at that book. So if you want to know a little bit more about it, you can go and watch his video. I'll try and link it, but I'm not sure if that works. His channel's great. I use it quite a lot before I buy a deck. I will go and check. I use Hermit's Cave as well as a visual reference. I am actually writing a book at the moment, and there's a chapter on online resources, and there is mini chapters within that on YouTubers who you can use as an online visual resource, so that you don't have to buy the deck if you are only studying them. If you want to read from them, obviously you're gonna have to buy a deck. But I'll get into this one. This one, the first Occult Tarot, as envisioned by Louis Raphael Lucrece de Foyal Comène de Malais. I've never actually seen anybody point this out, and I'm not sure if the people that own it have noticed this yet, but this fool is actually a female. It's not male. That is a female fool, and I've never seen that in any other cards. It's got the Hebrew letters at the bottom. It's not very occult. I'm an occult scholar, occultist, whatever you want to call it, and it's not very occult. I mean, there are deeper symbols in the card. Like this card in particular tells a story. It has symbols within the symbols on the cards to tell you a story. I'm not going to go into that and decode it for you at the minute, but you can see that he's got a tarot reading, the coins. You add the coins up. There's all sorts of symbolism. Look, there's a little story going on this card. Maybe I'll go into that on another video. It's not doing them justice, really. It needs a bright light on them so that you can see them properly. I will do a more in-depth video where you get a better look at the cards. This one's gorgeous. The blue and this blue and this reds and yellow just pops. You can see if I shine a little bit more light on it, you can just see how it pops. But you can't really see by holding it up. The trumps are in 3 sets of 7, which correlate to the 3 ages of man: the golden age, the age, and the age, whatever they are. I don't know. I haven't read the little book. But yeah, it's the 3 ages of man. It is a pip deck, a partially illustrated pip deck. So it does help with the interpretation of it. I prefer partially illustrated pips than fully scenic cards, because I just like the mystery part of trying to figure a reading out as well. So that is the first occult tarot. Pop that back in there, and I'll show you I love this deck. I'm a big philosophy nerd, right? As you can see, there's that whole top shelf is philosophy. I think there's some religion in there as well, but the second one's Greek literature. Anyway, this I love this deck. I didn't pay that price for it. I paid £30 on Watkins Books. Yeah, it's really cheap. There's a little issue with this deck. There's a couple of issues with this deck, actually. My eyes all over the place. The box is too tight for the deck. So, and this happens with all of them. The corners of the gilding eventually wear off. I'm not sure if you'd be able to. Yeah, you can see that. Can you see the little the gilding wears off on the corners? And this box is really tight, like real tight. The cards, you have to push them in, so the gilding won't last very long on this deck. But it's beautiful. I love it. It's Stultitia. That's a painting by somebody called Burns Jones, I think. Jones Burns or something, I don't know. But this has the Neoplatonic virtues, which is strength, is it justice, strength, and something else, and they all culminate in a fourth, which is prudence. And then it's got the three Christian virtues: hope, faith, and charity, which is the sevenfold mystery. And as I said, I love philosophy, so I am right into this Platonism and Neoplatonism. Platonism more is very mystic. So is Neoplatonism, but I prefer the original. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. I'll show you the cards. I don't like this next card. The green floor. I haven't tried to encode this yet. In some of his cards, there are stories that happen, as I showed you with the Magus card on. Sorry, it was called a Battle card, wasn't it? No, the Mount Bank card on the first occult tarot. There's actually a story within the card, and these cards are the only two that have the same background, so I'm pretty sure there's some sort of correlation there. There is, obviously, because the king, the queen, the hierophant, and the high priestess is all part of one set in other tarots, but this is complicated, this deck. You have to put it in the context of tarot But by doing that, you also take the context of tarot out of this. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure what I'm trying to explain. The appetite, reason, and will. This is the there's a really nice explanation for this card in his book, actually. Appetite, reason, and will are the three parts of the soul in Neoplatonism. Neoplatonism is a Platonic philosophy that has strayed away from the original teachings, but not too far. I love this card. This card reminds me of Arthurian myth. I just love it. I love the way she's passing him the sword. English fairy tale sort of thing. I don't like this card. I consider myself a hermit, a seeker of sorts, and I don't like this card. It's too clean. Way too clean for a seeker. Oh, look at that. The mages in this deck just smash every other deck I've ever seen. Not too fond of this one either. It's a little plain. You could have done a little bit more with this. This one's awesome. The more she's a female again. Death is a female, and she's got like this bluey pale skin. She's watching the last leaf fall off the tree. It's so symbolic. Temperance. That was the other. So there's justice, temperance. Is it strength? Justice, temperance, and strength culminate in prudence. I'm not sure. Look at that. There's no people in this card. It's just and there's no money coming out of it either. So it's not like a tower of money that's been destroyed or anything like that. I like the colours, but it's literally a tower. Some of it confuses me, this deck, right? Because as I've just shown you, the Sybil card, the High Priestess. He wrote this book in 2005, and that is the same image, right? That's the same image as the High Priestess in this deck. That came out in 2005. This came out in 2017 or something like that. And obviously he's an artist, so he will reuse his ideas, but it's a little bit iffy. You need to explain that, Robert, because people are going to see that and think you're just using all that because you're running out of ideas. Now, I know that that's probably not true because I've seen your decks, but other people that don't know your work might put 2 and 2 together and get 10, 2005 book with the same picture on it that's of something that came out with 2017. I mean, if it's a good picture, you're going to reuse it as an artist, I understand, but people are ignorant, and I haven't seen an explanation for that. Here's Gabriel, look, the Judgment card. Excellent. And there is Prudence, which is what the 3 Neoplatonic virtues culminate into. Prudence. Beautiful. Now, the rest of the deck is partially illustrated pips. The court cards are not my favourite. They're really big, in your face. It sort of reminds me of the Mary Hanson Roberts deck. Is that right? The Mary Hanson? No, not the Mary Hanson Roberts deck. The Morgan Greer Tarot. It reminds me of the Morgan Greer Tarot because of the boldness and in your face, the large pictures. Large depictions, I mean. Yeah, you get the drift. It's a RWS type pip. Next we have, we've got one left. I got this yesterday, so I haven't worked with it, but I've definitely looked through it a lot. And same sort of case. You get quite a thick book in this one, which has quite a lot of the information that the Tarot, Magic, Alchemy, Hermeticism, Neoplatonism book has in it. You see, the introduction is quite long, so you get lots and lots and lots of information. It's literally like you get a little book with it as well. It was only £30, so yeah. You get some of his writing as well, which is good. It's 40 something pages, the receipt. 30 quid it was. It's a nice little booklet. I'll show you these cards. These ones are very large. Very large. If I get the Alchemical Tarot, I'll show you the size difference. Big difference. Back of the cards are absolutely stunning on this one. Gilded again, but this time it's got a real 22 carat gilding. It's not a fake metallic gilding, it's that actual 22 carat. Or it appears to be. Obviously it's a Marseille deck, but it's called the Alchemical Tarot of the Marseille. So it's got his alchemical symbolism that he invented within the deck. Oh, look at that. And they have these little quotes on the bottom that is from, it's from the Corpus Hermeticum. I'll show you the full card. The full card has the first sentence of the Corpus Hermeticum on it. I'll read a couple to you in a minute. The colours, they absolutely pop. It is. I'm not sure why this video isn't. I'm using my front camera of a computer, so it's not very good. Le Pendu. Yeah, I don't like that card. I just don't like modern depictions of the devil. Strange. This is bizarre as well. Like, why is she being sexually explicit? She's the high priestess. Bizarre. There he is with his elephant and the Four of Cups again. Right, I will find you the full. So here's the full card. And I'll read this for you. I'll read what it says on it for you. Once on a time, when I had begun to think about things that are, and my thoughts had soared high aloft. It is the first sentence from the Corpus Hermeticum, and I'll just go grab that one sec. Here's my edition of the Corpus Hermeticum. I have a GRS Mead translation, and I'll go on to the Poimandres, the Shepherd of Men, and the first sentence is, it chanced once on a time my mind was meditating on the things that are. My thought was raised to a great height, the senses of my body being held back, just as men who are weighed down with sleep after a fill of food, or from fatigue of the body. Met thought a being more than vast, in size beyond all bounds, called out my name and saith, what wouldst thou hear and see, and what hast thou in mind to learn and know? And I do say, who art thou? He saith, I am man-shepherd, Poimandres, mind of all masterhood. I know what thou desire, and I am with thee everywhere. It was written in the 2nd or the 3rd century Alexandria in the Hellenistic Egyptian Greek mixed culture at the time of the Ptolemies. I think. Yeah, that's right. No, I'm not sure. It was written in the 2nd to 3rd century in Alexandria by philosophers, Hermetic philosophers, and that's why it's called the Corpus Hermeticum. Right, anyway, I thought that'd be nice and interesting. That's what it says on the full card, wherever it went. So I just think it's really nice. And they do say, I think it does carry on. So like the Fool would start it, the Magician carries it on, and then the High Priestess carries it on again, and so on and so forth. I've just got a couple more here to show you that I like. This has got to be my favourite one. They have these donkey suits. Half men, half donkey. It's really cool. I love that one. And yeah. So that is the Alchemical Tarot of Marseille. Which, you know, I think that's the decks looked at. As I said, I will be selling this one on eBay. It's already up on eBay. I can see 2 other adverts of this on eBay, and they want £115 for it. It's not for me. It's not for me. I don't like it particularly, but it is Robert Blaze's artwork, and I do appreciate his artwork. So what I want to talk to you about now is this and this. These two have a lot of the same information in. This one is obviously hella smaller than this, but this one has information that this one has inside of it, which is a little bit frustrating when you're buying his older books before you buy his newer books, and you read through them and then you read the new one and it's just expanded on. But if you're going to collect his stuff, you're going to collect his stuff. And for me, I'm proud to own this one because it's a first edition. So, you know, I'm proud to own that one. That one goes into history, symbolism, and then it's got a divination at the back with the Waite-Smith Tarot. Explanation of the Tarot's mystical roots with the guide to the Tarot of Marseille, the Waite-Smith Tarot, the Alchemical Tarot, and the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery. In the summer of 1987, Robert M Place was reading a book on alchemy when he became fascinated by the mandala-like illustration representing the Philosopher's Stone, the magical substance whose creation is the goal of the alchemical great work. In a flash of insight, Place realized that this design, was symbolically interchangeable with the Tarot's ultimate trump, the world. Continuing this correlation, Place came to realize that the entire great work, after 8 years of researching, I've completely fucked up there. Place came to realize that the entire set of trumps describes the sequence of operations that compromises the great work. That's his opinion. I don't fully agree with it. After 8 years of research and creation, the result of this experience was one of the most beautiful and meaningful modern tarot decks, the Alchemical Tarot, and I agree. It's absolutely stunning. And if you don't understand alchemy, but you understand tarot, buy this deck because it puts alchemy into the context of the tarot, so it's much easier to understand. If you already have an understanding in tarot, you will understand alchemy much easier with his explanations, and that is what I use his decks for, is a sort of initiation into the esoteric side of the philosophies that he has combined with the tarot in his creations. And it works every time. It works with the Alchemical Tarot. I already know a lot about philosophy, not so much about some of the stuff that he's added in here, so it was nice to go back and read some old books and like, oh, that's what that was. And it was so, and for me, having epiphanies and learning is the only thing that I get pleasure from in life. And I know that's pretty sad to say, but like I don't particularly enjoy life very much, and there isn't much meaning to my life at the moment. But I do like finding parts of myself that I didn't know existed through the exploration of mystical concepts. Rambling on again, aren't I? I'll show you the contents to this. If you are interested in the tarot at all, I highly recommend this book. Even if you don't like Robert Place, he do it like I've just said. He contextualizes things really easily, and it's really easy to understand. And he puts it in a way, in a simple way, in which you can then convey that to somebody else, and then you get a good feeling from giving somebody else an epiphany. You know, it's just, I love it. It is all black and white. Every single page is black and white. It's glossy, so it's really heavy, and it's high quality paper. He has, I think it's got something like 700 illustrations, and it's got all of his cards in there, just in black and white. I wonder how much a colour copy of this book would cost, because it was £37, black and white. I'd pay £100 for a colour version of this. This is the Sevenfold Mystery Tarot, particularly the Chariot card, but he brought out an annotated version of the trumps only, so it's got all the annotations and it tells you what all the symbolism means around the card, and I just think that's absolutely lovely. There's actually one copy of that deck on eBay at the minute, but they want $850 for it, which is insane. I can't pay that much for a tarot deck at all. I just can't. I think I'll just do this first, because it's got so many illustrations and pictures, and very nice. Talks about all sorts of other playing cards, the concepts behind them, why he's fascinated in them, what parts he's particularly interested in. There's just that this deck here particularly is his recreation of the Marziano Tarot, which was made for a Milanese duke, I think. I'm not sure. I'm actually doing a huge study of tarot at the minute, so it's all muddled up in my head. But this, I'm going to actually try and acquire this, because it's got 16 Hellenistic gods in it, and as you can see, I really love Greek literature and myth, things like that. The only way to discover what the old world was like and how it worked symbolically and spiritually is to go back and read all of these old myths. These two at the front here are not Greek myths. These are I, Claudius, and Claudius the God from Robert Graves, which is a historical drama about Claudius. So it even includes his cards from the rare tarot, the rare Raziel tarot that he did with the late Rachel Pollock. Rest in peace. And the Raziel tarot is just amazing. It looks beautiful. Again, you can go to Tarot Oculus YouTube. He does a quick flick through of the deck. That, I think, is the backs from his and Rachel's, again, Burning Serpent Oracle, which is another Normand. There's another annotated Sevenfold Mystery card, and yeah, you know, you get the drift. It goes into everything. It's a thick fucker, really thick, and it is heavy, right? It's got about 680 pages, I think. Yeah, 680. And if you don't want to pay £38 to test a Robert Place book and see if you like his writing, then I honestly, I would highly recommend. My ear piping through. My little ear, my little, feel that? I highly recommend going to get this. You will find this on eBay for about £8. About £8, $10, something like that. So if I was you, I'd go get it before you go and buy that one. It's not the same information. It's the same information, but it's expanded upon massively in that big book. This one, I'll show you the contents so you get a better look of what you are expecting in the book. History of the Tarot. So, History of the Tarot, the mythical history of the Tarot, the search for meaning, interpreting the major and minor arcana, the Waite-Smith Tarot, which is a divination guide to the full deck of the Waite-Smith, which is invaluable for me. There's some really good stuff in that part. This last chapter is my favourite, Hieroglyphs from the Soul, because he goes into how to use 3 cards in a reading, but how to get more than just 3 meanings out of the card. Let me try and, yeah. And he explains this system that you know, the people in the card, which way they are facing, means something different to if they was facing another way. If they're facing towards the outer card, if the middle card's facing towards you, it all has different meanings in the 3 card spread. And then he goes into more complicated spreads. I've actually done this 7 Soul Center reading with this one. I think I might do a video about that reading. Actually, it was quite enlightening. But you get the drift. I'd get that before I would get that. But if you're going to buy that, you don't need to buy this. Okay. That's it, really. I think that's all the Robert Place stuff that I have to show you at the minute. I will make another video. I just want to show you this book because if you are into the tarot, I think you need to read this. I couldn't understand Marseille Tarot before I read this. A brilliant book. I got that for £8 on eBay as well. That's it, people. That's all I have to say at the minute. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my tarot collection, my Robert Place collection. I appreciate you dropping by. I appreciate a like or a follow. Anything, you know, you can leave a comment. Tell me how your day's doing. Which cards you liked the most. Will you be going to buy Robert's decks? The best place to buy them if you're in London is Watkins Books. If you're not in London, probably his website is the best place to look. Yeah, thanks for popping by, and yeah, take care, I suppose. Bye.